Geppetto's puppet. We need your help.
All right, what's up, guys? Colonel Fats here, and I'm making this video to one, submit to SGDQ, but also to kind of go over the most optimal route. I do have a beginner route on my YouTube channel that you can check out in order to learn the basics, kind of get a feel for the run, and then that's a good starting place. But today we're going to be going over the world record that I got a couple weeks ago, I believe, something like that. But world's first sub 126. So I'm going to go over that, kind of explain all of the tech and why I do what I do and all of that. For marathon's sake, the route would be different. It would definitely be safer. Like I've been basically grinding this super optimal route, which is like no health, all technique, all risky strats, no safety. So let's do it. Let's get on with the run. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My mic is unfortunately pretty loud in my video compared to the game, so unfortunately I've just decided to play some background music while we just talk over a muted gameplay. But how the run starts, and this train has changed so much over the years. Like, they added the glaive, which made it faster, but now they have this boss remembrance pop-up that is RNG on when it's going to pop up. So essentially you just punch 5 times with the puppet arm, then you switch to the glaive. Then you block cancel light through the train, mash through the dialogue. We're going to select the technique starting class because the glaive, which they just give to us at the start of the game, is a technique weapon for the most part. We actually use a technique crank on it later in order to do that. But some tech in the train at the door, we actually unequip all of our armor in order to, because when we select the technique class, it auto equips the rapier. And we can run light with the rapier equipped and no armor. So we unequip the armor during the door when we can't move anyway. And then now we can run light through here. I've seen other runners, their stamina management here is different. I don't know. I always go with what I learned from Sieg from Dark Souls 3. It's just let the bar fill up pretty much all the way and then run optimal lines. And then there's certain parts like at this pillar, I stop, wait till it gets 2/3 full, and then run. A lot of small stamina tech that you just get used to and you learn as you run. Here we're going to immediately switch to the glaive, do a running heavy, 4 punches, and then a charge heavy. Then we're going to take the riposte. You can lose like an entire second by trying to take the riposte too early and then doing a light attack and then taking the riposte. There's a lot of small things where you can lose time. But here we're going to grab Fable Catalyst, and we are going to pop that. Just to explain the glaive real quick, the main weapon we're going to use for the entire run, basically. It has 2 abilities. One of the abilities is the Fable Parry. It costs 1 bar of Fable, which is the blue, the mana, whatever you want to call it. If you use it, it will spend the bar, and you can hold the direction and parry to the left, parry forward. You'll do like a lunge, and then if you get hit during that lunge, it will parry the attack, and then you can do a light follow-up or a heavy follow-up if you land it. The light follow-up, so like if you do the parry, it'll spend the bar, and then if you successfully parry something, it'll give you the bar back. And then if you do the light follow-up, you will do an attack that does good damage but does not spend any Fable. But if you do the Fable Parry and then you do the heavy attack, you will spend that bar. It's odd, but once you see it, you'll understand. It's weird to explain, but essentially we are going to abuse that because, like, in my opinion, you get more parry frames than perfect block with the glaive's Fable Parry. So it's easier to parry, but if you mess up, you lose that bar of Fable, and it usually is run ruining. So here I sell the ergo I picked up on the way, as well as the rapier, and then I buy 3, 3, and 3. This is something that I do that the other runners don't. They don't sell the rapier, they just destroy it. The money is really useful for a section for me, at least how I routed it. So with this, we're just going to go into our menu, quickly electrify our glaive with the electric abrasive we just bought, or one of them. Very light, light attack, parry light, charge heavy, parry heavy, light follow-up, take the riposte. Now here's some RNG. He's got a lot of health. So when he's getting up here right after the riposte, oh, see, I got bad RNG there. Right after the riposte, if he has too much health, he actually has hyper armor after the riposte. So if he has too much health, in low roll or high roll in this game, your damage rolls are random. You might have to hit him an extra time like I did. Or if you attack too early, he'll not take as much damage because he has hyper armor because you attack too early. It is a weird fight. But once you do it enough times, you start to get the feel for it. And then it's kind of a rough start. But it's all good. So there's a huge thing that I did there that will be used throughout the run, but there's the animation cancel. Basically, if we do an animation, like after we talk to someone, P does a little gesture, or we're opening a door, we can cancel the recovery of doing it into the animation of using the grinder if we don't have a weapon equipped. Easier to explain later. Let me just do it at the hotel. We're going to talk to Sophia. We're going to get 17 technique. We're going to fill up our fable by walking into the practice arena. You just walk in to the practice arena or run in, stop. You have to stop running, and then you'll fill up your fable, and then you leave. You can get really optimal with it, but yeah, we do that a lot. And we also have to talk to you, Jenny. Fun fact, if you go to this door without talking to her, it will teleport you back to her. She wants to give you that puppet string. Take it. So again, the animation cancel is somewhat hard to explain, but how we do it, you have to not have a weapon equipped. And then you essentially go into your menu, go into your inventory, and then use the grindstone. The grindstone is, as you hit weapons, it will come up later. As you hit enemies with your weapon loses durability. You can use the grindstone to then repair your weapon mid-fight, but instead of sitting at a Stargazer. So that's what we're doing. We're using that while we don't have a weapon equipped. So P goes into his pocket. He's like, wait, this isn't going to work. Allows us to do the animation cancel, which was voted on in the Discord as legal tech. A week where we had a big poll open and a bunch of people voted, and yep, they said it's fine. So this is another area where we're just kind of running through. You can take these corners sharper than you think. Pretty nice. More optimal stamina management here. This would obviously be a great time for some donations or some talking about the game, like explaining how it works. But like I said, this route at the start, this route is very optimized for like no fear, no safety, just YOLO everything. Finally got the run. There's another piece of tech. So you'll see it a ton of times, but as you walk over an edge, you can use your heal right as you get over the edge to basically use the coyote time to do this like hover kind of float that keeps your speed and you get further, and it's just used a lot throughout the run, so it can save time. Here we're going to buy 3 electric abrasive and 2 shock coils. Very important. Here's the doggy jump. Use mouse and keyboard. We're going to line up at that corner and then just jump across, and then we basically skip this whole area and we're at the boss. Pretty good. It's a pretty good show. It's fun. It's not very hard. Just got to practice it a bunch, and then with pressure it can be. Here there's just some tech. So unlike other Souls games, we can't move while we're in the menu, so some tech we do at certain points is jump and to equip our weapon. The basic strategy for Donkey is Fable Parry Heavy, tap R2, tap heavy, Fable Parry Heavy, tap heavy, Fable Parry Heavy, tap heavy, take the riposte, he's dead. Other runners fight him a little differently, which is slower, but because of the way I sell the rapier and the ergo at the first merchant, I always have enough money to buy 2 Fable Catalysts at the next hotel section, which means I can use 2 Fable Catalysts for Murphy. So I think killing Donkey that fast is worth it. Starting Murphy with not full Fable. But here is one of the huge reset points of the run. Some days I'm on, some days I'm just really bad at it. But we have to do the animation cancel on the Murphy door. This is kind of the reason why it was somewhat controversial for Glitchless. But again, it was voted on. So here, since we're opening a chest, I can do some belt menuing, get my items situated. So we're going to run up, do the animation cancel. You have to do it pretty fast in this. And we're going to equip our glaive. So what the animation cancel does is it basically cancels the animation of opening the door, but the door still opens, and the door is what triggers the boss's cutscene. So we basically skip the boss's cutscene, which saves about 10 to 12 seconds. It's very big. Unfortunately, Murphy is one of those bosses where his attack pattern is what determines the RNG other than you not messing up. So here we just kind of get a feel for when he's going to get stunned and when he's not. Oddly enough, this game, bosses, enemies have 2 poise bars. One for like a mini stagger and one for see, now his health bar is glowing. So now if we did a Fable Parry Heavy, he would get knocked if he didn't die. Honestly, not the best. But then there's the mini stagger bar where if you hit him, he'll just and you can get some extra hits on him. Unique system. But there goes Murphy. Yeah, unfortunately, at this point in the game, even if we were collecting all this stuff, well, not really. The only weapon we would have would be an electric weapon, and he's immune to electric. And because of the speed run, we're not going out of our way to get fire. So he's kind of an endurance fight. Here we're going to upgrade our technique to 20. This is what I was talking about with how I do my stuff. I can buy 2 Fable Catalysts there and 1 Quartz, which is absolutely necessary for this next section coming up to have those Fable Catalysts. Now we are going to upgrade our P organ. You can really lose a lot of time in these hotel sections. So getting fast at this P organ is very important. We get what? Increased fatal attack, which is the riposte. We get increased ergo, which is the souls gained from killing enemies. And then I think we get increased fable art damage. So like our spin and our fable parries. So then we're gonna fill up our fable at the training area. Lose time there, walk in, walk out, realize you didn't get the fable, so you have to run back a sec, and a lot of ways to lose time. Here we're going to be running through the factory, kind of just a long running section, so this would be a great place for donations. So because we can't move while equipping stuff like in other Souls games, we really take advantage of times where we're forced to wait, like when doors are opening, to do menuing and stuff. So there, I still have the Puppet Destroyer's amulet that I grabbed in that chest right before Murphy. I forgot to say that. It just makes us do more damage against puppets, which the start of the game has a lot of puppets. Especially Murphy himself is a puppet, and the next boss we're going to fight is a puppet as well. We keep that on, and we equip the first 2 armor pieces. We only really need the second piece, but it's going to keep us light, but also it is specifically for the decay in the cathedral. Just the best time to equip that armor is now, because we could, and we're still light, so it doesn't matter. So again, we're just running through here. Wait for this fella. Get the heal boost. Heal boost. So weird fact on that, if you get the first heal boost and fail the second one, you'll actually have to roll the shield guy because he will attack earlier and hit you. Kind of funny. This butterfly control, kind of just hope it moves out of the way. Thermite. We need that for Archbishop Andreas later. So that is our second one. We've been collecting them. We also got some throwing cells for him as well. Electric. It's abrasive. There's been labbing of, if you really wanted to gamble and save like a few seconds there, you could not grab that blitz and hope your first electric blitz for King of Puppets kills Romeo's phase 2 before running out. Very risky though, so I haven't really added that in. But yeah, we just, as long as you just run that exact route through the ball section, you'll be fine. Kind of just let the stamina go down, wait for the ball, run. Here, this is where some routes differ. So, I mean, I like to spend my money elsewhere. So, just come up here, grab this technique crank. That is going to be what we use to change the scaling of our glaive. Other runners will just run straight to this boss, ignore that, and then buy a technique crank from Pulcinella later. I don't like doing that. There's already enough menuing at that hotel section. I don't need more. Save money. So here's Fuoco. Fuoco has... I made a boss guide for him, but Fuoco has some really odd patterns. Starts with the run, so we kind of want to lure him closer to the exit just so we can leave better. But as long as we get 2 lights after that Fable Parry Heavy, a Fable Parry Light into a Charge Heavy, we'll get the mini stagger. Then we hope he does one of 2 combos here, and this is one of the combos, because he will always do this follow-up, which allows us to get enough damage where we can kill him without using the Fable Spin, which will allow us to save Fable and kill Atoned much faster. So just like that, no spin needed, he's dead. It all depends on what attack he does in that last section. We either want him to do the 3 spin or the combo he gave us. If he does anything else, it's going to be 1 attack, and then if you Fable Parry Light that, it'll phase transition him most likely, which we never want to see phase 2. So here we always use Gravity instead of the ladder because it's faster. And then we kind of just run and jump through these. The glaive is considered a boss weapon, so it upgrades with Dark Moon Moonstones instead of the regular Moonstones. Kind of like a Twinkling Titanite or, you know, boss weapon in Souls game. Use different upgrade materials. So we're going to grab that one right there. Takes 1 to +1, 2 to +2, and 4 to +3. So in this world record route, we actually have it at +2 until Bros 2. So here, if you jump to like the right, I've noticed that puppet usually delays his attack until you like recover from your roll. It's very odd, but faster. Usually if you can run past an enemy, it's faster than rolling past an enemy's attack. So because we got the good RNG on Fuoco, we can do the script for Atoned. So we're going to start with a cheeky backstab. Then we're going to do a Fable Parry Heavy. Now you see we have full Fable, which allows us to Fable Parry Heavy, tap heavy, spin, tap heavy, and then unfortunately we got a bad RNG. We had to move to the left to take the riposte, but then we got her, and there you go. Very good. 1703. That could be better. A lot of things that, one, I don't see a ton of runners do, but also there's the RNG of it, and it happens. We're doing a lot of menuing here. This is where if I was doing like a costume incentive, we would do that. I always do it with my chat here. What was it? But if you can cancel the recovery of your like attacks or anything like that by taking the riposte. Like if the little 3 lines are bright red, you can take the riposte even if you're like mid recovery on something. So with the humanoid enemies, a lot of times you can like, you'll do maybe a spin or a Fable Parry heavy to knock them. You'll sometimes be in the perfect position to just take the riposte immediately, so you do not have to you don't have to like wait for your character to recover to take the riposte. You just take it. Weird. One of these weird things I see people doing, and I'm just like, just click the button. You had it. Like another big thing about riposte is you gain stamina back while doing them. Like it doesn't cost stamina, I feel, to do a riposte. I don't think. Oh, this is Greg. By the way, hi, Greg. Greg is our named NPC friend. He drops his hat and then it disappears from existence. Kind of wild. Here we have a cool little trick. So how this one works is you just want to line it up and then run a straight line along in between the far two right boards. Just run a straight line on that. It should push you to the left, and then you jump. You just do a little delay and jump. It's honestly really easy. And it really doesn't lose much time if you mess it up, so I just always go for that. Since it's on the way, we're going to grab this fire abrasive, and we actually need it. The next mini boss. So the reason we can only spin on Fuoco or only spin on Atone, one, if we spin on Fuoco, we don't have enough Fable Catalyst to even get full to do the strat on Atoned. But also, we always want to spin on this mini boss at the top of this climb. I'm not as good as Catslock, I feel, or I don't know. I really don't enjoy, oh my goodness, parrying this mini boss up top. So I'll just do the spin strat. We have a not so nice name for this bridge and climb because it's kind of tough. That bridge, if you don't know, start doing runs. You can get a hit in the cutscene of opening the first door. Very frustrating when it happens. It means we lose time here automatically because we have to heal and then not use gravity. But here is the infamous climb. Essentially, we must fall and climb up. So as long as we have one heal here, we're good to do the sequence. So we're going to heal boost down here. Gravity is faster than ladders. Now this is exactly why we put the armor on before the factory. We would get decayed there if we didn't have the armor, or it'd be really close. But then there's another part where we definitely get decayed. Whereas if we have the armor, we don't. We're going to run along here, and as long as we just hug the right, she'll just miss. I've still yet to have the run where she does not throw acid at me here, so this is kind of why we need that one heal. We need to be full health. So as long as we're still running perfectly, we're on the cycle. And then we're going to use the glaive here to whoop. That is one of a few running light tricks that we do. Essentially with the glaive, the running light attack kind of really gives you some distance. So we use that with the coyote time. It's similar to the heal boost that I've been doing off the ledges, but with the light attack, and you can get some air control, and we essentially wrap around that pillar and skip a little bit. If everything goes perfectly, we perfectly make this water wheel cycle, which is nice. Come here, equip the glaive, set it on fire with that abrasive we picked up before the bridge. And we're just gonna run over here and hit this fella in the back. Charge heavy, light follow up, charge heavy, spin. They do take more poise damage. I don't know if it's actually more damage, but I know it's more poise damage if you hit enemies in the back for the most part. That's why charge heavy, light, charge heavy, stuns it, mini stuns him there, and then the spin hooks him. There's our first Krot supply box. So there's 3 of these in the game, and we will be getting all 3 of them because it's going to upgrade Polendina's shop. He's the merchant at the hotel, and that is the best way to get full moonstones of the Covenant. Basically, the items needed to +4 and +5 are glaive. Yeah. So here we're going to get through the church. library. So there's our third thermite for Bishop. Fun fact, pretty much every enemy, unless they resist it, every boss at least, unless they resist it, if you hit them with 3 of an element, like 3 thermites, guaranteed to set them on fire. Which the elements in this game are kind of super beneficial to us. Here we're going to drop down and get the Legion Caliber. So this is different than my first SGDQ when I ran this. But there's a lot of new puppet string tech that has saved a lot of time. Huge shout outs to Catslock for that. But essentially, we're going to use that Legion Caliber to upgrade our puppet string. Normally, we shoot them, pulls them to us. Now we can pull ourselves to them. Very cool tech there. Here, we're going to buy 6 Fable Catalysts, 2 Quartz, and 2 Moonstones. Going to allow us to +2 our glaive, and then we're going to use the technique handle on it. We're going to fill up our Fable. This is where we upgrade our puppet string to Trace. When we talk to Vanini, he gives us the grinder tool. Unfortunately, though, we have to then do one more thing at this and equip the fire special grinder stone. So there we go there. And then we go back. And it's really convenient that we upgraded the puppet string there, because here's our first puppet string trick. So we like to name everything in this. You saw Greg earlier. So this is Jessica. Jessica, we are just going to string up to and skip running a long way. So you're just going to wait for her throw and then string up to her and do that. It was very interesting labbing that for hours until we finally found the trick. Renee and she was in chat just helping with ideas. We essentially found out when she throws the acid, she moves her hitbox forward. So you have to string up to her on the recovery of the acid throw. Otherwise she pulls back and then the string doesn't reach. So here we're just going to run through this area. And we're going to do another animation cancel similar to the Murphy door. Here we go. Wait for a sound cue on the door to light the glaive and then run through. This fight is basically get the mini stagger. Oh, this is bad RNG. You get the mini stagger, do a charged heavy, then one more Fable parry heavy should knock him. There it goes. Then we're gonna pop 2 Fable Catalysts. We need to be full to script phase 2. So all those thermites and some throwing cells, here's all 3 of them. 1, 2. The third one is going to set him on fire, which is going to make our glaive that's on fire do more fire damage. And he's electrified, which is going to cause him to take more physical damage, which essentially means Fable parry heavy into tap heavy into spin kills him after all those throwables. So it is a very nice script for the phase 2 there, because the attacks he can give are pretty frustrating in phase 2. Like if you get past the poke. There's Alidoro. That is our boss soul merchant. We essentially gave him Murphy's soul for an amulet. Each boss soul can give a weapon and an amulet, but we already have a the most broken weapon, so we're just gonna look for special amulets. So we got Fuoko's amulet, which we have 4 Fable slots. More Fable slots equal just damage increase. It's kind of nice. And then we got Fuoko's amulet, which is my favorite amulet in the game casually, but also just it's really good for the speedrun, especially the glaive. If we do a perfect block with the amulet on, our next attack will do more damage. The Fable parries with the glaive count as perfect blocks. You seeing this? Fable parry heavy starts. It already does absurd damage, but just we're starting to add some more damage on top of that, and it's pretty ridiculous. Here's another running section though, so this would be more donations. Probably pretty much just run the path, wait till the green bar is almost out, then run. Nothing too special. If you are full running and you get to this part, you have to hug the left or that dog will hit you. If you're walking, you don't have to run left because the dog jumps early and jumps the gun. Same thing with this guy falling. If you're walking, you don't have to move to the right. But if you're just full speed sprinting, you will have to move to the right or he will hit you. And that does an absurd amount of damage. This is a plunging attack. We kind of run into the cage a little bit, then run back and then do this pattern. And he'll either bonk into the wall or do a swipe. And you just run around it. The swipe can be a little scary, so I wouldn't blame you if you rolled. Because it hurts a lot. Here we're going to do some fall damage on purpose just to get down here faster. And we are going to like this. The main reason, like, theoretically, we have the heals. We could kill, and, well, we don't have fire either. The main reason, okay, I'm also going to increase my tech to 30. That's a huge addition. With the DLC, you used to have to get all the way to Bros 2 before they gave you the ability to level up at any Stargazer, but since they added the DLC, they're like, you can just level up at any Stargazer. Why not? Also, hi lady with a jar. So I use that to make sure Bros 1 goes down easy. Kill him slightly faster, and it saves us a level. I really don't think it saves much time, but I think it saves a little. And it's easier. It makes Bros 1 less stressful. You don't have to take a repose. You just gotta kill him. Run that exact line, and you should be good every time. But if you're slightly off, you can get hurt. I've lost runs to that mini boss. That big guy. So here, we're going to be going through. I like to get a little stamina here just to guarantee I can make it to this bear trap. I was like, you can make it all the way up here without stopping and then jump to the trap, but the dog has hit me when I've done that. So I'm just like, nah. Here we have to wait anyway for this guy to get out of the way. So it's a perfect time to use our last heat or Fable. Here I found if you just run left, wait a sec and go, you don't have to roll because rolling is always slower. So like I said, when an enemy is on fire, right, they take more fire damage, and then when our glaive's on fire, they'll take more glaive fire damage. If an enemy is electrified, though, they just take more physical damage. It's not like they take more electric damage. It's the unique one. So those stack together. So we're going to use the main reason we had to sit at that Stargazer is to get our third throwing cell. Because the third one electrifies him, which causes the script to work. I've labbed it out and made a video. This boss has 9 different openers. That was one of the worst openers. Very long combo. When our goal is to just do a Fable parry heavy, you just want him to do one of his like single attack strings. But either way, once Big Bro goes down, even if the little bros hit you, they can't kill you. Like if Big Bro's health is 0, you are immortal. You will always survive on a pixel of health. That's why I usually just stand there. I should really try to like orientate myself, my camera towards the door. But yeah. That's Bros 1. As you do like long grind sessions, these hotel segments start to get pretty confusing because we do a lot at them. Here, we're going to get the gold coin fruit, story stuff. Bros 1 annoyingly doesn't drop a boss ergo or a cool sword. It instead gives us an ergo. Spring! Spring's the kitty cat. But here will be our last time upgrading our P organ. We might as well, since we have to talk to Dad anyway. He tells us Antonia has a key, so we have to go talk to her. But here, we're going to first do Perfect Guard, increase Fable charge. So if we do a perfect block, aka a Fable parry heavy, or a Fable parry, we'll get more Fable back. Here we're going to increase our Fable Catalyst. We're going to get reduced stamina consumption from dash and then increase consumable possession limit. Basically, a lot of that was increase Fable Catalyst, make them better. Get Rosa Isabel key. Sophia has a lot of different spawns she can have here, and this is the main split where it costs time. If she spawns at the top of the stairs here, it is the worst time loss compared to like the best positions you can spawn, loses like 6 seconds automatically. Ridiculous. But we level up 2 into vitality and 2 into capacity, and then we talked to Pondina and Max by Fable Catalyst. There's a specific reason we level up health to 10, because like I said, this is the most optimal no safety route. Well, why are you getting health if it's no safety? Because, okay, it's light safety. So, King of Puppets, Phase 2 is scripted, but during that script, we do a spin. If he does one specific attack during that spin, it will hit us. It won't stop our spin. We'll still kill him. But if we don't level to 10 HP, we die. So instead of gambling, I still leveled to 10 HP. Also, the early levels in HP, you know, in Souls games do give a lot. So it is pretty worth it because the Arch Abbey especially, we take a lot of fall damage on purpose. And the less we have to heal, the better. Here's another string trick. Normally, you would have to wait for this puppet to explode, but if you just string to her, it delays her explosion, and you can just leave. New tech was actually recently discovered there, but I haven't gotten it in a run yet. I haven't done runs since this run, to be honest. Well, sort of. Either way, this is White Lady. So step 1, equip glaive. Step 2, talk to her. Step 3, set glaive on fire. Step 4, equip amulets. Charge heavy at the right time, starts the fight with that. Fable parry light, block cancel light, block cancel light, block cancel light, spin. I love this script. It's very, like, you can decide to parry her like 3 times instead and save like 1 second. But I just really enjoy how easy that strategy is to just block cancel her that many times that I just usually default to that. But that was White Lady. Moving on to this tunnel, we're going to heal boost here. It's weird. I feel like we're definitely high enough to take fall damage there, but I think because they don't expect you to be able to do that gap, you just don't. I don't know. It's very odd. These Magikarps, as we call them, can be very big trolls. They have no legs, so they are all armed and they hurt very bad. So if you can get pretty stuck there and have to roll and bad. I like to puppet string this lady out of the way. It guarantees we don't get hit. You can just run and climb the ladder and tank through some hits or get lucky and take no hits. But in my opinion, it's not worth it because if you do take those hits, then you have to heal, and that's time lost. Here's a puppet string trick. Lock onto that fella at the top of the stairs, and then as long as you roll into him and the box kind of at the same time, you can just run. He'll shoot once, miss, and then he'll just give up. But if you like miss or it doesn't go as smooth as that, he'll probably shoot again and you might have to dodge it. This part is pretty unique as well. As long as you just hug this left staircase and run as fast as possible, you won't get hit by any of the attacks the clown does, which is very nice. Another electric abrasive right on the way, very convenient, so we didn't have to buy an extra one. A lot of these doors, it's like, why even do the animation cancel? So a lot of times with P, he'll open the door, then walk through, take 4 slow steps, and then do like a pose, and then you can run. So that's why we do it on like every door. We're going to run to that pillar, run to the corner, equip the glaive, then run past the spider, and running light over the ledge. That's the second running light trick. Skips literally the entire opera house. For King of Puppets, we want to be full health. We equip our 3 good amulets, and our electric abrasive is ready to pop immediately. Hold X to skip. We're going to pop the electric. We're going to puppet string him to try and get him to just come at us and start attacking. Fable very light, into block gets light. This is the worst RNG. He hops backwards, so we have to chase him. Fable very charge heavy. We're going to bounce back, hop back, tap forward, forward parry, back parry, back parry. The timing of that is not too bad. It's pretty satisfying to do. But there we go. Now he's down. So this is phase 2. It's scripted. We're going to pop Fable Catalyst. We're going to electrify the glaive. Fable Parry Heavy. Charge Heavy in the spin. This is where he could hit us through the spin. And that's why we upgraded our health. He did not. So we technically could have had lower health, but whatever. Here you can low roll, and you might have to Fable Parry an attack or hit him one more time after that. But we did not. We high rolled, so that's good. Find Dad somehow out here. He's just a story part. We just get an increase to our pulse cells. Kind of just nice. Cool. Take that. I'm actually wondering if I've never tried to just run past him there. Do we have to talk to him? I might lab that after that. Okay, sorry. Focusing. So this is kind of just a running through area. This part's kind of interesting. If you load a save, she doesn't do this weird little move to the left when she gets up. But when you're running through for the first time, she does. It's just run to the right, you'll get past her. Fun fact about this door, you can just straight line to the right side of the door and activate it. And you'll like teleport to the left. This is an infamous dog door. You can be super gambly and equip the glaive or like the rapier if you didn't sell it. There's 2 doors like that where you big slidey doors. And if you have a weapon equipped, the recovery after is so much better. He takes like 1 step and you can move. But the dogs seem to kill you more if you do that. I don't know. It's very risky. I like to use the iframes from walking through the door. Here we are going to use the pocket watch to return to the most recent Stargazer. In this category, this is actually the only time we do that. Every other time we pocket watch, we go to the hotel. But here we just go to this one we just lit. And using the pocket watch counts as sitting. So we've refilled our Fable Catalyst and our heals and our grindstone. This is how I do it. There's probably a slightly more optimal way of doing it, but essentially we want to, there's a mini boss that we're running to, but we want to equip our amulets. But once we drop down, it kind of starts. It's kind of scary to equip the amulets down here, so we run a little slow just to get down here. Fable Parry Heavy, Charge Heavy, spin. Dead. Beautiful. It's one of those, you have to kill this mini boss or the door doesn't open. Now we're going to run through here. Something I do is, even though I'm not almost out of stamina, I always do a little stamina refill right there after I see this first guy. Because if you don't and you just go too perfect, like literally suffering from success, you do this section too fast. When you open this door and try and run through it, he'll be perfectly timed blocking the door. And then he'll try and attack you, but he can't fit through the door, so that he just blocks the door. I've actually seen him get through the door before, but he usually just gets stuck. So see, we run here. He was almost blocking us, but not quite. So now here, I usually don't like when the enemy is like walking towards the door. It just makes this part a little frustrating. We're going to use 2 Fable Catalysts after the heal. Run left of her. Do a little puppet string just to get a... The puppet string there really serves one purpose. It gives us their stamina and it doesn't really lose any time. So we can make this full run to where we need to be. So Jester, we're not going to parry, so we don't need to equip Fuoko's amulet. So we're just going to equip Puppet to start because it's a puppet, and Murphy's because damage. Charge heavy, charge heavy, charge heavy, spin. Wait for our stamina to come back, and then charge heavy. Very good amulet that he drops, and we have to kill him anyway, so that's good. But that is the enemies drop more money amulet, basically. We will be using that later for a few bosses. Like one boss and a few mini bosses. So here is a door very similar to that dog door. So here, instead of opening the door, we equip the glaive real quick. And then right when the door is open, we can immediately just go into our menu, unequip it, and go. Whereas normally, if you don't equip the glaive there, you'll open the door, take like 4 steps forward, do a little pose, and then you can control P. It is odd, to say the least. For the +3 route, we would go get some Dark Moon Moonstones, basically the marathon route, to +3 our weapon, just to make this Victor to Corrupted Parade Master section much smoother. But world record rise, going all the way back to the hotel just to upgrade the weapon is nowhere near optimal. Because, like, we used to go back to the hotel simply to level up, because we have a lot of money. But now, because the DLC dropped, we can level up at any Stargazer at any time. So we just go back to the hotel. We don't need to. Another big thing for routing purposes, and because the whole run, we need Fable to parry and we need Fable to spin. So the whole thing is based on getting Fable, our mana. Charge, how do we get it other than using a Fable Catalyst or doing the training area at the hotel? You attack enemies. But like, say you attack an enemy with a light attack, it'll barely fill up your Fable. But if you hit an enemy with a charge heavy, it will do like a third of a bar filled. So in this running section, I specifically do charge heavies on certain enemies just to get more Fable. Here, I have a nice trick. We have to wait for the shield guy at the end of the hall. So you just puppet string him, you turn him off, wait a sec, and then go. We're good. I despise that part, and Blade has a ridiculous strategy that I could never figure out. So does Cat's Lock. I don't know how they do it, but I just can't. So I just do that, and I feel like it's the same speed. You can get lucky and get around that guy, but it's just RNG. Unfortunately, you had to roll there, so slight time loss. This is an example of an enemy. I could kill him faster by doing, I feel, 3 block cancel lights. But I want the Fable, so I did a charge heavy. And now look, we have almost 3 bars. And drop down here. I've seen other runners not grab this acid because it's like faster, technically not to. But I think using acid instead of fire, both actually, on Victor is better than just using fire. So here I'm just going to do some menuing, put the acid abrasive there, put the shot put there, whip the glaive, because we want to get another charge heavy on this fool. Even if he blocks it, we still get the big Fable from it. So it doesn't even matter if he blocks it. So just get some Fable there. So here, some people don't really know about this, but yeah, you can just drop down there to skip a lot of this section. I like to string to that guy because his RNG can be bad. So if you string to him, it makes it very consistent. Here we're going to grab our second Crot supply box, which will upgrade Polendina's shop at the hotel. Again, the main reason we have to do this is 2+5 our glaive, which will maxing it out. So Victor, the basic plan is to acid and then hit him until he gets stunned. Then while he's stunned, use fire on the glaive, then knock him to phase 2, and then phase 2 is semi-scripted. Basically Fable parry until he's stunned, and then you'll see. There's also, if you hold X to skip the cutscene at an early enough frame, he will start the fight not running at you, which is time save. Because we can buff right away instead of having to dodge his first attack. Here we're gonna do another. He's stunned, so I'm gonna set my glaive on fire, charge heavy, or tap heavy, and then take the repose. You got phase 2. Good RNG, he just runs at us. Because we really just want 2 Fable Parry Heavies. If you get a Fable Parry Heavy into a perfect charge heavy, you can just hold left and you'll dodge his grab. Oh yeah, that was a actually really nice fight. Although a lot of times he does his back attack, that time he didn't. Kind of frustrating. He hopped away. But there we go. Victor down. Start with acid, end with fire. There you go. He's really not that hard to parry. He has one attack where you can't tell if he's doing the single attack or the triple attack. But for the most part, he's really not too bad. We're kind of at the point where our lack of armor and health means bosses nearly one-shot us. So the room for error doesn't really exist. Here we're going to give Black Cat and Red Fox gold coin so they don't turn into bosses later. If you don't do that, they will literally fight you when you run past them in the Abbey. For Black Cat, it technically doesn't matter. I mean, you do lose time anyway. But you can actually start the Black Cat fight and just run to the elevator and leave. But with Red Fox, you have to defeat her, so huge time loss. So here is the swamp. In my opinion, the only really hard part of the swamp is literally the start. Because there's this one gunner puppet who is weirdly accurate sometimes. It's frustrating. So here, if you roll too early on this dog, you can explode and it's bad. Or with your tail whip, we're going to run to this wheel, run around here, take it a little wide so we don't get shot. If I got shot there, I'm fairly certain because I'm missing a little bit of health, I would get one shot. I'd be dead. So we're going to run around here. Kind of want the dog to explode just so we don't have to worry about it. But typically, even if it chases you up here, you can get away from it. One of the newer pieces of puppet string tech. Thank you, Catslock, for finding this. She shows me tech and then I optimize it. So all you got to do is run, smash into the corner right at the top of these stairs, lock onto this guy, and puppet string. Boom. Pretty easy one, actually. What's nice is Alidoro, the boss merchant, is conveniently just on the way because we've been slightly advancing his quest line. And we then get our last boss weapon, our boss amulet of the run. And that is the Arm of God amulet. It's from Victor's Soul. We just beat him. And that is our last one. So now we never have to see Alidoro again. Yay. So now here is a very long running section. This part is actually really frustrating in the speedrun. Like, it's somewhat nice because things slow down so you can kind of catch your breath. But it's a really boring, easy running section to a really hard boss. In my opinion, Swampy is one of the hardest bosses in the run. Because as you practice him, you get much better and he becomes fun, but he's still difficult. Talk about a boss with no room for error. Also, I think I did totally forget it. Another routing change at the hotel when I said or at the Grand Exhibition when we leveled up. We drop everything into tech and get 40 there. Most time it would be capacity a little bit. There's essentially one trick I've adapted from Blade. That means I don't need capacity, so more technique, more damage. Is a neat little route. Something I learned from Blanks actually is if you lock onto an enemy while falling, you will get the recovery of the dash when you land instead of rolling, which is slightly faster. Like that. This rolly ball section is so great because you used to have to like wait and kind of time out these cycles. Well, that was way long ago. But because of the P organ upgrade, we got reduced stamina consumption from dash. It essentially means if you're sprinting, uses less stamina while you're running, which allows us to get through that entire rolly ball section without rolling or stopping at all. As long as you run a good line, you'll make it. So here, there is a super trick that I will eventually get a run with, my final run, but you can make that jump just straight across that gap. It is very difficult, but you can make it. But instead, we're going to be much safer and take this ladder. And we're going to drop down. So if you do the, we call it the jump 2.0, that jump, you can save up 12 to 16 seconds if you do it fast enough. But it's very difficult. So now, fun fact, that cutscene with that earthquake actually like changed the map. I think that is the point where we can no longer go back to Act 1 and 2, chapters 1 and 2. Here is Swamp Monster. We're going to make sure we're full health. But because Victor takes so long, and I like to do charge heavies on the enemies to get more Fable, I actually need to heal a little bit. And because I haven't been upgrading my capacity at all, and boss amulets are heavy, basically with the boss amulet, 3 boss amulets, I can't wear any armor with the capacity I have. Because it'll be heavy and we'll be fat rolling, and that's really bad. So there's phase 1. Phase 1 is weak to fire. Phase 2, he finds Murphy and becomes him. So he's a puppet now. He's weak to electric. Fascinating. First combo down. Gonna get some nice parry lights in. And boom. We had a +3. We could have knocked him way earlier and killed him, but unfortunately we don't. So we kind of do some parry lights to keep our Fable and do some extra damage before doing the big knockdown, just to guarantee he dies at the end. But there goes Swampy. So now we're gonna go this way. So an interesting fact, there's like new Sophia dialogue at the hotel after Corrupted Parade Master. So we used to, like, during our shopping spree segment before Bros 2, we would level up. Well, basically the DLC, long story short, made leveling up at that hotel section slow. So we're actually going to level up at this next Stargazer, and that'll be essentially our final level up for the run. We do level up more later, but it's not as relevant. But yeah. And we specifically level up only to, I believe, I haven't popped it, but 47 strength. Yeah. 40 or 47 technique, dexterity, whatever you want to call it. That is a change. I used to go 14 health, 14 technique, and 40 tech. But now we just 47 tech, more damage. Let it rip. Who needs health? So this is just another running section. Obviously, we're not going to do it in the speed run, but we're essentially at the start of the game. So this is why we can't go back to chapter 1, because we're essentially in chapter 1, but it's further in time and different. So if we go to the right by Scorpion, that is the train we started in. But here for the most part, oh, I didn't realize. So at that start, if your Swampy fight goes poorly, and you basically need 3 and a little bit of Fable bars for this next sequence. Because every time we stop at a Stargazer, we lose, like, if we just light it and don't sit, it's like 5 seconds. If we light it and sit, it's like 8 seconds. So you lose a lot of time. So the route we essentially try to cut out as many Stargazer sits as possible. I found a way to basically go from that gazer after swamp monster all the way back to Hotel Krat without sitting anywhere. And all it needed was to parry the knock knock mini boss. Coming up. So because we're +2, if we're +3, we can actually use the souls, get more souls from killing enemies amulet. But because we're only +2, much safer and better to just equip the goods, as I like to call it, our 3 main boss amulets. So 1, 2, 3, set the glaive on fire. There's just going to be a running heavy, a charge heavy, a charge heavy. Then we're going to wait for our stamina, a charge heavy. Now he has like 3 attacks he could do here. Most likely he's going to do that red attack, which is awesome because it's the easiest one to parry, but you just got to be prepared. Can do other stuff. And because we have to wait for that door, that is a decent time to use the Womp Soul, because we need to buy all of this stuff from that guy. You just have barely enough money. So here is Destroyed Krat. This is coming up as the string trick that literally introduced me to string tricks. Catslock has been doing hitless, and she's like, hey, why don't you do the string in Destroyed Krat? You just run around. I'm sure you have your reason. I'm like, what? And then she showed it to me, and then we just started labbing like crazy. But you just run to this corner, mess up, lock onto the wrong thing. No, don't mess up, but you just put your left foot on the corner, look at the enemy, lock on, string, boom. Spider P. So here's the next mini boss. Now this one's pretty easy in terms of script. We're going to equip the money. Since we're not parrying it, we don't need Fuoko's. That's when we put on the money amulet. But just charge heavy, spin, and then kill it. Boom. So we want to use 2 Fable Catalysts running to Illusions Lady, and then 2 Fable Catalysts after. So this is a neat little trick. Run to the left around this guy to distract him, then run over here, string up the stairs. Kind of neat. I used to do a much harder variation of it and would lose runs, so then Catslock showed me her way, and I'm like, your way is so much better than mine. It's only like 0.2 seconds slower. So we switch to that. It's perfect. There's our final supply box. So now when we go to Paul and Dina at the hotel, give him the boxes, he'll have final upgrade materials. Because we're doing the +2 route, we cut out some dark moonstones that are out of the way, but this one is right on the way, so we might as well grab it instead of having to buy an extra one. Because Illusions Lady has been changed since the start, like in my first GDQ, I was like, oh, you climb the ladder, you'll have a headache forever. Now she doesn't. If you climb the ladder, she will immediately start fighting us. So we have to equip our amulets and glaive really fast and set it on fire and start climbing. Otherwise, this fire guy will come and set us on fire, and that's bad. So grenade, thermite, 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 acid, acid, shot put, acid, shot put. Boom. So we're going to do charge heavy. Then we're going to do the spin, but hold forward, because when she clones, you will automatically unlock. So if you're holding forward, you'll guarantee the last hits of the glaive spin connect. And then it's a simple perfect block into 2 block cancel lights for the most part. You can high roll and just light attack her and she'll die, but that's lucky. On the +2 route, it usually doesn't happen. On the +3 route, it usually does happen. So there's that. Another huge shout out to New Blade Runner, who found the script for this boss. I've been using it forever. It is just the best. Very clean script. It just works. Sometimes it can get a little sloppy if the minion and the boss do weird stuff. But for the most part, this script is just clean. So we're going to equip the glaive. We're going to equip the good amulets. We're going to set the glaive on fire and run up and throw a cluster grenade. Then we're going to do a running heavy attack. The cluster grenade and the running heavy guarantee that this Fable Parry Heavy does the mini stun, and we do just enough damage to guarantee spawns a minion, so we can do two charge heavies. And we throw a grenade and spin on him. This is what's unfortunate. My spin didn't kill the minion, so he could have hit me, but I got lucky and he just missed, so woo woo. There's a weird thing that I've seen happen with that fight before. So the minion, when it dies, it explodes, and if you're next to it, it will corrupt you, give you the corruption status effect. If you're corrupted and defeat the boss, your corruption will go away. But I've seen it happen where player is corrupted, beats boss, gets uncorrupted, then the enemy explodes, corrupts him, and then he dies because he has no heals to make it to the hotel before the poison kills. It was pretty brutal. Basically, note to self, the minion he summons explodes on death. Okay, so we are going to do the shopping spree section. So we do the animation cancel on this door, which allows us to, again, skip an animation where he takes steps through the door, does a little pose, and then we can run. Animation cancel that. Spam through Antonia's dialogue. Spam through Vanini. We're going to drop down. So we found the 2 supply boxes, but we haven't given them to him yet. So we're going to give him a box. And we're going to give him the box. Now, because of how I buy stuff, I really only have to sell one thing. We're going to buy 16 of those. 6 of those for safety. 1 of those. And 1 yet. We just buy all of our upgrade materials. 1 Dark Moon Moonstone because we had 3, so we needed 4. And then you just buy 3 full Moonstones, which is very nice. Plus 5 with glaive. And we just go. Well, like 16 Fable Catalysts. It was like 16 Fable Catalysts, 6 Cogwheels, 1 Acid Abrasive, 2 full Moonstones, and then 1 Moonstone. They're just 2 different slots, and then 1 regular Moonstone. Now the Relic of Trismegistus. There's also a, hey, did you know there's DLC box that pops up? You lose time there if you don't remember. I do like that this running section is really easy because this boss is really hard. But if you practice it a ton, you can get good and grind it out for a good run. Essentially, the play is we start with fire, and then we end with acid, because Big Bro is weak to acid. The huge risk in this routing is getting status affected is very easy because I wear no armor whatsoever. Got pretty unlucky that my Fable Parry didn't hit her throwing knife for some reason. But essentially, kill the first one, backstab and charge heavy the second one, then backstep and use acid, then Fable Parry heavy, then go kill the other guy, the last one. Boom. Now we've taken out the last one. So typically, Big Bro will almost always start with blue wave attack and then go into this combo. Nice that we found out you can get 3 Fable Parries in this combo where you can get a counter. Now this gave me a heart attack. I can't believe he missed there and there. Yeah, that was, I don't even know what happened there, but we got him. He's dead. Normally you can kill the third bro fast enough that when bro is like going to pull out his sword and everything, you can get some hits on him. But because I didn't do that, my charge heavy when I knocked him didn't kill him. So it got a little scary. But that is arguably, not really arguably, that is the hardest boss in the run. It's like one of those, like when I was running, you basically say you never have a run until you're past Bros 2. But even then, it's like, you gotta get past the running lights. Which I do choke one of them in this run. Oh, sorry. Another way to save a lot of time is certain things, like that cutscene or especially boss cutscenes, you could hold X to skip, but only after a certain amount of time, and every one of them is different. So just a fun fact, when P is pulling the submarine lever, once it gets halfway from top to bottom is when you hold X to skip. You got to know all those parts to get the perfect time. So neat tech here. So as long as we level up once here with Sophia, it will refill our heals and our fire grindstone, like our special grindstone, which is perfect because we are out of fire abrasives and we need one for the rest of the run. Door Guardian. So we level up at Sophia, it fills our heals and our special grindstone. Pretty sick. Definitely a great spot for donations. It's funny, in older routes, we would talk to these ghosts because they do give you a lot of ergo, but don't need it. Pointless. We literally could not level up the rest of the game and be fine, but we get a bunch of money and we have to sit at Stargazers, so we might as well. Running on the beach. Definitely a spot for donation. Kinda, you always want to go left side up these stairs because that's where the boss is, but also just faster. I'm wondering if I could go a little towards the middle or not. I haven't really thought of optimizing these beach lines. But essentially, it's, you can get really unlucky. As long as you're like running full speed, you're not going to get ballisted. But you could like perfectly be, oh, I'm out of stamina. Let me walk for 2 steps and then get some stamina and start running. And that's when the ballista fires, you're doomed. Embarrassing loss. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Door Guardian essentially has one opener that's not is objectively bad. The other ones, some of the attacks are harder to parry than others. But really, all this boss is one Fable parry heavy and he's down. Like, they really nerfed this boss, and I'm okay with that. Like, watch this repose damage. Yeah. So he's dead. So now here's the huge change. So here's the first running light. So normally I would get 14 capacity. If you have 14 capacity, you can equip the glaive and no amulets or armor and run light with it. But I saw Blade do this and I'm like, this is great. We can get more tech. We don't even need capacity. So instead, you just run up here, equip the glaive, and do the trick not light. There you go. There's one. I find that one harder than the second, but it just depends on the day and the run. Here's another really cool string trick. Love those. That one, another shout out to Cat's Lock. That's a new one. That one's awesome. I really like that one. It's so easy, but it saves good time. So I have lost runs here, which is very depressing. But here, 1, we need to get a little bit of stamina so we can make it all the way to the ladder. But 2, we want to kind of make sure these scorpions attack us, especially the second one. Like, what's really frustrating is you run past the first scorpion, he doesn't attack at you. The second scorpion turns around. That is the worst thing that could possibly happen. I've never had to test it, but apparently, according to Cat's Lock, if they turn around like that, you just puppet string them and then keep going, and they'll like, it'll work. I don't know. We'll see if I ever have to do that again. Here comes the second running light. So again, I'm running light, and then I'm going to equip the glaive and not. And then here is the depressing fail. So you run up to the ledge, turn your camera to the left slightly as you go, and then time the light attack. Unfortunately, I failed. So if you're a hitless runner and you go for this and you quit out, it's invalid because hitless runners are no quit outs. So there we go, get it second try. So this run is definitely very beatable. So one, if you first try that, two, if you get this cog skip a little better. My Manus fight is pretty bad at the end, but we get it. But yeah, essentially after that, there's just 3 tricks now. Because there used to only be the 2 running lights, and then after that, it's like, okay, now we just have to run to Laxasia. Easy peasy. Well, no. Because now the hugest, newest trick ever that Catslock has found again. So this was known about, but nobody found consistency for it. But now we have. The problem is the scorpion seeing you. The scorpion sees you, it will start backing up. So we hide behind this pillar and use saw wheels to lure it to the edge. Then we wait for the ballista to shoot, run up. If he's too close, we'll just fall. So we got to wait for him to back up a little, and then you just string across, and it skips so much. It's really not that bad. Bad RNG slightly. That was just a bad line. So I got decayed there. That sucks, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. Obviously, it's like we're watching the world record or something. So continuing on, we're going to take some on-purpose fall damage. I was a little scared that I wouldn't survive the fall. I didn't heal twice, so I healed twice. Fine. And I always forget, I'm like, and there's our 3 tricks. Oh yeah, there's technically 1 more trick. But in my opinion, the trick is easier than doing it the normal way. Normally, you run to the left, there's a guy with a rapier who tries to poke you and does a ton of damage if he hits you. Whereas instead, we're just going to jump the gap and jump onto that bridge. Now, 2 reasons why I recommend anyone who runs this game go for that jump. 1, I personally do think it's easier than running around that dude. Because there's a golden butterfly that can knock you off the bridge as well. Whereas if you just make the jump, you're good. Second reason I always recommend doing that jump. The fall, if you fail, is so far down that if you can't quit out, you might need to hand in your last B badge. No. Like the fall is so far that it's really easy to just menu quit out, and then you'll spawn at the top of where you fell. Not on the bridge, so you'll have to make the jump. But it's really easy to quit out if you mess it up. So that's all I'm saying. I recommend going to that bridge jump. Pretty easy. The harder version of it that I don't recommend going for, really hard, and it doesn't say much. At this point, so if I'm in a serious run, if I am full health and have at least 1 heal, we do not have to sit at that Stargazer after Black Cat. Which, again, like I said earlier, saves about 8 seconds. As long as we have full health and at least 1 heal, because we're going to take we're going to take fall damage. We should be good. So here is a really nice trick. If you do the animation cancel fast enough, then run forward and jump. While this cutscene is playing, the jump still happens, and it takes you over the ledge. So when the cutscene's over, you're at the bottom because you fell. That is one of the coolest finds I've found. Also annoying. Get hit by that guy. I tried to use that guy to block the little one so he doesn't puppet string me, but now he started hitting me. So that last section of that prison is a little inconsistent for me. The rest of this, though, is fine. And you like how I said we need at least 1 heal? I think the heal is actually for safety. I don't think we need it, but if we get hit once, you're doomed. Because coming up is a big fall damage. So we're going to run over here. So what I do here is we're going to heal. And then we run on the right side. We listen for the gun. Once you hear the gun, which is always about there, then you angle to the left. and you will never get shot if you do it that exact kind of pattern. Here I like to heal simply because if you get hit by one of these guys, it's almost a one-shot. I'm pretty sure it would one-shot it anyway. But yeah, I got scared. I don't think I needed to roll there a second time, but you can actually run past that second guy without rolling at all. But it's a very specific line, and it is... It's like a truck. Like, I'm pretty sure with this amount of health heal, any attack he does will one-shot. Well, this is the cool part, because once you make it past them and you start climbing that ladder, you're like, yes, we made it to Laxasia, because there's no more enemies until her. There's just 2 ladders and a very long elevator. Equip our boss amulets again. Take the incredibly long elevator up. Kind of a stressful elevator. There's the boss that's going. She's really not that bad, but she's the second to last boss in the run, and it's like, if you're on pace, which we are, kind of nerves start to kick in. Like, Lax isn't that hard, but like everything, unforgiving if you mess up, and kind of easy to mess up. We have to perfect block 6 lightning bolts in a row back at her. I think I get the good RNG in this. So it used to be she had 2 openers and they're both fine. Now, turns out one of the openers is better, and it's this one. Because when she slams, she leaves an electric thing. We just never thought to parry the electric as well. Oh, very big damage. I get scared of that attack. I parried so early, but I still got it. So that's good. Phase 1 is down. So we just repair our weapon because we kind of have to wait anyway. And we re-acid when she's about to shoot. So we just perfect block these back to her. Some people Fable parry them, but the Fable parry moves you and it's scary. So then she comes in, Fable parry heavy, tap heavy, charge heavy, charge heavy. She gets stunned. Sometimes she doesn't. And another charge heavy because she's got a lot of health left. Boom. Down she goes. Now, just like the animation cancel on the Murphy door, and just like the animation cancel on the Bishop door, we have an animation cancel on the Sophia door. And in my opinion, this one is the hardest. But my heart is always racing so much here that my hands are moving at light speed, and I seem to get it in runs most of the time. But when I practice it, I struggle. Normally, when you open that door, you have to wait to hold X to skip a cutscene. Then you have to make a lie or truth statement with Sophia, and then you can leave. So that door animation cancel actually saves like 10 to 12 seconds as well. Like, huge trick. And it's really the last trick of the run. There's one more jump that's kind of unique. It's just a jump, though. It's nothing. Well, okay, I lied. There is one more puppet string trick. My apologies. It's gonna be cool. But this part is, my brain is always, remember to breathe. Because when you're on pace, like, nothing is really hard about this part. Like, it's just running. Just running in very easy lines. But everything I'm running past can one-shot me. So it's just one slip up, and you're just done for. So we can do a cheeky little animation cancel there. Even if you don't have heals, you can still do the heal boost off ledges. You'll just do the animation of I don't have a heal thing. You can actually do it with like anything. So you're essentially canceling the heal animation with falling. Activating falling. So you can do it with like throwables, and as long as you cancel it in time, like you can fake throw a thermite, and as long as you timed it right, you won't actually waste the thermite, but you'll get the heal boost thingy. It's really odd. Also, there's the one attack you have to dodge that he gives. Again, one shots, so Thank goodness. But here is Red Fox. She will not open that door unless we give her the coin or defeat her. Thankfully, we took the coin, so we're going to give it to her. Now we're going to go over to Geppetto. Here's Dad. Specifically, if you want to fight Nameless Puppet, you'll want to say yes here. Because the dialogue has been sped up so much, though, we actually don't want to lie to him. We tell him the truth here, just so we don't get the option to refuse Dad at the end. I definitely have never done that before. Refuse and accidentally fight Nameless on world record pace? That'd be silly. So here is going to be the last Stargazer before the final boss. There's still a running section, but this Stargazer is less out of the way than the other one. So we take this one. And then we make sure we have Fable. I almost left without it. We fill up. And then the final running section. This first enemy has 2 moves it can do. If it does the red attack, we got to do this ring around the rosy, which is kind of fun. As fun as it is, though, it does lose time because the other one is just run. It's actually bad RNG. But it's the more common RNG. So, is what it is. These Roosevelts are very scary. They hit very hard. And again, because my route is so unsafe, because I've been failing so many runs to Manus, literally, I decided to get health instead of more tech at that last one. But once you get near, once you're over 50 tech, any more really doesn't do much. Also, another name character, there's Brandon. Hi, Brandon. Bye. Fun fact, I always feel my fingers slipping when I get on that railing. Here's some really cool tech. Okay, the final puppet string tech. We look down while running over here, and then look up once we get up these stairs. This guy doesn't run around and starts shooting us. So then we can string across to him. Normally, if you're just running and looking at him, he sees you way sooner and will start running around and cut you off. So the look at the ground tech is real. Hilarious. So here is the final boss. We need 3 acid for it, which we have. Full Fable Catalyst, and arguably don't need full, but we want full. Yep. And here is the final boss. Both phases are weak to acid. I get the good RNG, but I was slow on my running heavy, so I didn't get the Fable parry on the poke. But thankfully we got this. But then he gives a good attack here, but then instead of doing any follow-up, he hops back. So that's just bad RNG. Unfortunate. But we got him. So phase 2 is semi-scripted. I mean, it obviously depends on what attack he does here. But essentially, whatever attack he does here, we wait for it. Run away until it's done. I'm going to hit him 2 times or a Fable parry light. And then we just need 2 Fable parry heavies to get him to the next phase. So unfortunately, he didn't do his follow-up again. So we have to wait. This is why this fight was just so bad. So once you want to get him low enough health, so when we get to this part, we're in finish mode. We throw a cluster grenade, we throw a shot put, perfect block, Fable parry heavy, into spin. And then light attack to finish him off. And there he goes. Booyah. So phase 2 is essentially hit him with a Fable parry light or a couple of attacks that aren't charges. And then do 2 Fable parry heavies, and then do that ending script, and you're good. Oh, it's such a frustrating boss. So then, no run will ever be truly deathless. So we activate that elevator and use the kill item. Instantly kills us, and it will spawn us at the bottom of the elevator. That elevator is a 30-second to 40-second elevator. It's actually ridiculous. So that is just the best way to do it in any category. But here we talk to Dad, and just because we select some options, we don't even have the ability to select refuse. So there we go. That is the run. If we select refuse, we would end up fighting Nameless Puppet after this, which is another boss, but instead the run is over. So Thank you all for watching. This is the world's first sub 126. If you have any questions, I'm in the Liza P Speedrun Discord. I also have my own Discord. You can pop in my stream. I really like helping, so if you are having troubles with anything, or I talked too fast or didn't explain something, just let me know. And we have a bunch of people who are willing to help, and look forward to some DLC guides in the future for the DLC bosses, because now that they've finally been added to the speedrun leaderboard, I can make them and feel like they're going to help some people. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you consider this for SGDQ 2026. That would be awesome. Thanks.